So I'm going to take a quick poll. So this is our third time doing Academic Day, right? Third time doing Academic Day. This is the third time I'll be presenting Academic Day stuff. Um, who gets anything substantial out of my presentations? I'll take half. I'll take half. Huh? Well, we can't say we all do. I doubt we all do. Who takes anything out of my presentations and does anything with it?
Any of your presentations, not just
Yeah,
academic.
any of them.
Yes, yeah.
Any of them. Okay? Some. So just want to let you guys know the goal of these presentations is to get action. And um, if they're not working, let me know. Okay? If Sherry's presentation or Aaron's 6 months ago don't do anything for you or teach you anything or give you anything new, let me know, because there's a short amount of distance between you and me, physically now, but also organizationally. And if we need to change it, let's change it. Okay? I think for the next academic day, no matter what, it's going to be different, because we're already past capacity of this room, and likely we're going to keep growing. So at the next one, we're probably going to do it in a different space. If we're doing it in a different space, it's probably going to be a little different. So if you have ideas to make it better, let's do it. This is the time to do it. Do it in Gilbert. I live in Gilbert, so I'm not saying no. So, um, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Eric Bailey. I'm the director of OD. Um, why did you laugh at that? That wasn't even the funny part. So, um, besides being the best director of OD that this company has ever had, the only one, only one. That was the funny part. You should have laughed there. Um, I'm also a fantastic father. Okay, I've got two beautiful boys. Oh, they're totally out of focus. You got to see my boys. You got to see my boys. So, my oldest, this is Jerem. He's 6. And that's my middle boy, Kai. He's 3. And I'm also the father of a beautiful baby girl, Jasmine. Jasmine has me wrapped around her little fingers. She's 1. She's going to be 2 in March. And she's adorable, and she's so smart. She's so smart. At her 18-month well check, the doctor said, "Okay, so is she saying, between 6 and 10 words?" And my wife says, "More like 60 to 100 words." Like, I mean, she's so smart. You ask her a question, she say, "Yeah," or "No," but she understands the context of the question. And it's like, "Jasmine, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm hopping up in my high chair." Hopping up in your high chair? Like, she's amazing. I mean, she got personality for days. I mean, just look at that face, right? So this is my Jasmine. Well, almost exactly a year ago, she got sick. She got a really high fever. She had a cough that wouldn't quit. She was wheezing. Her pulse was racing. And so, we didn't really know what to do. We're like, okay, did she get sick from daycare? Did she get sick from her brother Kai, who was just sick the week prior? And we're just trying to figure out, you know what? It's going to go away, right? It'll just go away. It didn't. Well, the ibuprofen will make the fever go away. It didn't. Well, the infant Tylenol, that will make the fever go away. It didn't. And after a couple of days of this cycle of, okay, it knocks down the fever for a little bit, and it comes right back up, we got really worried. So we took her to urgent care. There's urgent care right by our house. We took her to urgent care, and they prescribed her albuterol breathing treatments. Okay? Now, albuterol breathing treatments are no fun for a 10-month-old. You got to hook her up to a nebulizer and put the medicine in her lungs and try to break up some of that junk. Well, that didn't help. She woke up one night with 104-degree fever. and we were really starting to freak out. So we made a decision to go to Mercy Gilbert, which is across the street from our house. And there's a problem because we do parenting together. Like we're going together. Problem is the boys are already in bed, so we couldn't both go together. So Jamie, my wife, took Jasmine to Mercy Gilbert, and I stayed home with the boys. And I called my mother-in-law and said, Carla, can you come help? We got to take Jasmine to the hospital. We don't exactly know what's going on. She's got a 104-degree fever and really freaked out. So 45 minutes later, my mother-in-law gets to the house, knocks on the door, and I don't welcome her in. I just blow past her, jump in the car, and go to the hospital. When I get to the ER, they already had a room, right? And I say room in air quotes because it had a wall and 3 curtains. So it wasn't really a room. And that's it. We had a nurse that checked in on us every, I don't know, it felt like 3 hours, but it was probably every 30 minutes. And we didn't know anything. They took blood tests. They just let us sit in this room, and we didn't know what was going on. And it was apparent they didn't know what was going on. It was really, really hard for us. Jasmine had a really high fever that wouldn't quit. And so it was, at this point, probably 11 o'clock at night. And she was exhausted but too sick to sleep. Ever been that way, too sick to sleep? But then at the same time, she didn't have enough energy to be awake. So she was just this puddle in my wife's arms, sitting in the ER. And so, if you don't know this about me, I'm an optimist. Always looking on the bright side, always looking to what's better. Sometimes it drives my wife nuts. You know, what I jump into, it's going to be okay. 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 And I believed it. It's going to be okay. Eventually, after probably about another half hour of this just sitting and waiting, the doctor comes up and talks to the nurse, not to us, talks to the nurse and says, okay, she doesn't have pneumonia, she doesn't have RSV, and we can't help her. We need to admit her. And if you know Mercy Gilbert, last year they didn't have any place to admit pediatric patients. Now they have a partnership with PCH. They didn't at the time. So we then have a choice to make. We go to Banner Cardin, or we go to PCH in Phoenix. And coming from Gilbert, we've got a choice to make. Okay, PCH is probably a better hospital, but it's 35 minutes away from our house, and we've got the other 2 boys. And Cardin is 15 minutes from our house. We're going to go there. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it is a really weird feeling seeing your infant loaded into her infant car carrier onto a gurney, and then loaded into the back of an ambulance. Scary stuff. Now, remember I told you I'm an optimist, and I say it's going to be okay. This moment is where I wasn't sure. Seeing my baby girl loaded into the back of an ambulance. Okay, so my wife jumps into the ambulance, and I tell her, true to myself, it's going to be okay. And I'm pretty sure she can tell in my voice that I wasn't positive. So she jumps in the back of the ambulance, I jump in the car, I run to the house to ask my mother-in-law, is it okay, can you stay a night? Can you stay the night at our house with the boys? Grab some overnight stuff, and then I drive over to the hospital. I don't know exactly how, but I beat the ambulance to the hospital. This doesn't give me much hope for emergency drivers, but whatever. So I get there, and I go up to the floor where I think they're going to be, and they were like 2 minutes behind me. And maybe just my perception of the way it happened, but it really felt like we were the only ones in the entire hospital. The entire nursing staff, or every single nurse that I saw, was 3 of them, they were helping us, they were welcoming us. I mean, it was midnight, so maybe that's why. But we went there, and we just felt welcomed. They welcomed us to the room, and all that we wanted to do was get our baby girl to sleep. We want to make her comfortable, make her feel better so she can go to sleep. And they said, well, we can't do that yet. We've got to take vitals. We've got to put an IV in her. Now, if you ever put an IV in an infant, what you have to do is you have to put it in the hand and then wrap it up and put cardboard on it so they don't move the hand. Now, my baby girl is so adorable, they put this little piece of cardboard here, right? And for her, it's like this big, little piece of cardboard about this big. So she, after it's all wrapped up, she goes, hello? Right? It's adorable. She's like, hello? And like that was her, once she saw us laugh one time, then she kept doing it over. It was adorable. So they get her all wrapped up, and They take her vitals, and when they take her vitals, they realize that her oxygen saturation is really, really low, like below 80%. And I don't know, I didn't know this, but that's really bad. 85 is about as low as you want to go. So they were really freaked out. So they hooked her up to oxygen, and they said, we got to keep the pulse ox meter, is that what it's called, pulse ox? Yeah, had to keep that on her full time, so they strapped that on her. And so this is my baby girl in the hospital. Now, that's hard. As a father who thinks that everything's going to be all right, to see that beautiful girl strapped up to all this crap, chained to a bed, it's really hard to see that. The nursing staff was really wonderful. They just welcomed us. So we didn't sleep much that night. And coincidentally, a good friend of mine, Mark, was in Banner Desert in the same hospital. And he was in a coma. He's been in a coma for a week and a half. So since I couldn't sleep anyway, I went down to their floor, their area, and I saw his family, gave them hugs and kisses, and hung out with them, and kind of gave them an update on where we're at, and they gave me an update on where Mark's at. And on my way back, I'm just kind of wandering through the clinic. Wait, there's one more picture of my baby girl. Sorry. That's her all strapped in. Um, I'm wandering through the hospital, trying to kind of getting my way back to her, and I passed the chapel. And I stopped in there because we're going through so much. I prayed a lot. I went in there, I prayed for Jasmine, I prayed for Jamie, I prayed for my boys, I prayed for the doctors, I prayed for the nurses, I prayed for everything because I was really scared. Okay, so the next day after shift change, this new nurse comes in. Her name is Susan. And she came in like a wrecking ball. She came in and, sorry for Miley Cyrus reference. She came in and she just took over the room. She made us feel comfortable. She asked us questions. She realized that there's questions that we weren't asking. There was things that we're worried about that we weren't saying. She answered all of it. She asked us if there's anything we need, and we're like, no, I don't think so. And then she goes behind her back and she pulls out a Minnie Mouse. And she gives Jasmine this Minnie Mouse doll. Now, she loves this Minnie Mouse doll. She played with it the whole time. When she was sleeping, she slept with Minnie Mouse. Like, adorable. Even to this day, a year later, her favorite toy is Minnie Mouse. Now, I don't know if many of you are parents, but you know that your kids get into a toy, and then an hour later, they forgot about the toy, and they're into another toy. Minnie Mouse has been her favorite for over a year, almost a year. Minnie Mouse was amazing. Now you notice that in this story, I've only said one healthcare provider's name, Susan. I remember Susan. And it wasn't just because she gave us Minnie Mouse. It was because she cared about us. She realized that we were going through something really scary and really profound, and she helped us through it. She sat, she talked with us, she listened to our concerns. When we were frustrated about not hearing anything, she made sure that we heard about things. She touched us, literally touched us. When she sat down with us, she put her hand on me or my wife's leg. She put her hands on our shoulders. She connected with us. I remembered her. I will likely always remember her. Okay? So we were in the hospital for 6 days, just so you guys know. And when you think about being in the hospital for 6 days and you got a job to do, you got to go to work. So, we ate there, we slept there. I ironed my shirts on the food table with towels down. Right? This is how we lived for 6 days in the hospital bathroom. Right? This was my experience of life. It was probably the hardest week I've ever gone through in my entire life. Now, I share with you about my baby girl and how much I love her and how hard it was for me. Susan continued to wow me. Even when it wasn't her, our room wasn't on her duty, she came in and checked on us. Right? She was always there. She even showed up one day with a box full of toys. And I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of hard, but Jasmine's playing with this little ding, 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 ding piano thing with Minnie Mouse close by, of course. This is the first time that she started to be alert. This is probably about 3 days in. Now, every day we posted on Facebook, it's likely we're going home today, based on what we're hearing from the nurses and the doctors. We're probably going home today. And I went back through my Facebook and I looked at it every single night. All right, seems like we're going home tonight. Oh, looks like it's another day. All right, looks like we're going home today. Oh, looks like it's another day. That's really hard for people to go through. Now, Susan helped us through it. She really helped us through it. Now, when it turns out that Jasmine had bronchiolitis. Now, you've probably heard of bronchitis, but not bronchiolitis. Now, bronchioles are the little trees inside of your lungs that help absorb the oxygen. So when you have bronchitis, you get the junk in your bronchial tube, right? Bronchial tubes. And bronchiolitis is when you have the junk further down, deeper into your lungs. It happens a lot with kids, apparently, because they're smaller. So she had bronchiolitis, and she had RSV, and she had pneumonia. So all these three, it's like the trifecta of respiratory issues. Now, I hear coughing right there, because you guys are subliminally trying to get the junk out of your lungs. When adults have junk in their lungs, we cough, and we clear it, because our lungs are powerful, our diaphragms are powerful enough, we can clear the junk out of our lungs. Well, a 10-month-old can't voluntarily clear the junk out of her lungs, so what do we do? Does anyone know what you do? You jam a tube up her nose, down the back of her throat, to clear the junk. And it's not just any tube, it's like the dentist suction tube, right? They jam that through there, and my baby girl's strong. It took 3 of us to hold her down to do that. Now, that was the hardest thing. Having to hold my baby girl down and inflict pain on her. I felt like I was inflicting pain on her. Susan told me it's not as painful as it seems, it's just really uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it, right? And so we're holding her down and we're doing that, and every time after we're done, Susan just puts her hand on my shoulder and says, it's gonna be okay. It seems more painful than it really is. She's gonna be okay. This is helping her. Every time after we did that, she started coughing a lot, getting a lot of junk out. That was probably the hardest thing. We gave her breathing treatments every couple of hours, and by the end of it, obviously she's okay. We went home, and she's a champ at breathing treatments. Like, we don't have to hold her anymore. Like, she's like, all right, give me the nebulizer, right? And that's what she does. She got it. Now, being in a hospital room, kind of confined in a hospital for 6 days is really, really hard on parents. Have any of you ever been in the hospital with a child? Hard, really hard, right? Now, I want to remind you that Susan's name is the only name that I remembered. She's the only one that stuck out in my mind. And there's a number of reasons for it. Mainly because she wowed us every single time we saw her. From giving us Minnie Mouse, to touching me on the leg, saying it's going to be okay, instantly taking away my stress. From listening to what I was complaining about, to listening to what I wasn't complaining about, to going and getting doctors when we had questions, or when we say, hey, this alarm's been going off for 30 seconds and no one's in here, she rushes in and says, I'm so sorry, I was in another room, letting us know what's going on. Like, she was absolutely incredible, and she will always stick in my memory. Now, Jasmine's cool. She's good. This is her from a couple days ago. She's happy, she's healthy, she's fine. She's absolutely fine. But what I want to point out in the story is that every patient has a story. Every single patient has a story. And whatever the story was coming into it, and whatever the story is during it, and whatever the story is leaving it, Susan realized that she was a part of my story. I probably encountered 10, 15, 20 different care providers across the entire experience. She's the only one that wowed me. She's the only one that I remember. And I'll remember her forever. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is because, A, I want you to know that I'm a human being, right? And I've got real things in life too. I have a story. I mean, there's probably 20 of you who said that you've had children in the hospital. You all have stories. We all have stories. What I think what we do a lot of times is we forget. We forget that the people we're interacting with have stories. We forget that this person might actually be dealing with something way more profound than an ingrown toenail or with a sprained ankle. We forget that. And we forget that as people come into our clinics, that we then become part of their story, either a forgettable part or a memorable part. We are a part of that story. A lot of folks have been asking me, Eric, what do we have to do to improve patient satisfaction? We gotta wow them. That's it. I mean, if you look at our overall patient satisfaction numbers, we're somewhere close to good, a little bit north of good. That's where we are. We're north of good. I would say 20 out of 21 care providers I interacted with were good and perfectly forgettable. One wowed me. One was excellent. One was very good. So I hear a lot of folks saying to me, I don't know what else I can do. What else can I do? Well, we can wow them. We can take every opportunity we have to change their experience of it. Like, we've got that power. Give them a Minnie Mouse. It's a figurative thing, right? Not literally find Minnie Mouses and hand them to patients. But what I'm saying is, what can we give our patients that are going to make them remember us? What can we give them? What can we do for them? The North Phoenix Clinic went out on their own and bought a bunch of waters. And Anna, yesterday, walking around this lobby like a cocktail waitress, asking people if they wanted a water and making them smile and giggle and laugh with her. Because that's who she is. She wowed them. That's incredible. It seems so like, yeah, well, it's not much more. No, it's not. It's not much more. But it's exactly what's necessary. What we do is we kind of get into the routine of what we do, and it's a job, and it's over and over and over and over and over again, and it's boring for us, and it's forgettable to them. What we're asking, what we're hoping, is that we do something more. That we try to look at our patients and say, what might you be dealing with today? How can I help you solve your problems today? Like, if someone's limping or walking or is angry, they're not angry at us. They're not. They've got a story. And one of the best things that we can do is get our patients to tell us their story. Because if they tell us our story, that means they trust us. If they tell us their story, then we can know how we fit in it. Right? We started running patient satisfaction survey results for MAs in North Phoenix Clinic. So you know that our Press Ganey, we can score by physician, right? Each of the physicians. And each of the surveys has a question that says friendliness and courtesy of medical assistant. Right? Did you know that? MAs, did you know that? Yeah? Looking for more head bobs. Well, it's there. So if you run a report of every single physician and just look at that MA question, you know what your MAs look like. It's a shock for most of the MAs to see, wow, these are how I'm being scored. Just north of good for the most part, right? One standout we have is Lisa, right? Every single survey is 99th percentile. Every single person that fills out her surveys, every single person says she's very good. What do you do? What do you do?
Basically, I just, when I see them, hi, how are you today? Ask them how they're doing. And again, like you said, touch them on the back, and just say, hey, I see you're limping, walk them through. Just, they're in pain. If they're cranky at you, you just know it's not you that they're mad at. It's just a situation of, come on in, have a seat. Let's see what we can do for you today. We're going to take care of this situation. Just treat them, pamper them, pamper them.
She wows them on the phone.
She wows them on the phone, yeah.
Recognize my doctor's exhausted and she has to wow.
Yep.
She's up for everything.
So if you couldn't hear in the back, you can hear it in her voice that she cares about people. She puts a positive spin on everything, a happy spin on everything. And just so you guys know, I sent a secret shopper to her. My wife has had 5 knee surgeries, not at core, 5 knee surgeries from playing basketball. And in the last 6 months, her knees started to act up. And she's been having a lot of knee pain. So I said, oh, go see Dr. Kearney. All right? And during her visit, her very first visit, she's sitting in the waiting room, and the fire alarm goes off. And so everyone just kind of ushers out, and there's, staff from the 3rd floor, staff from the 2nd floor, patients all just kind of standing outside of the building. And not a single staff member talked to my wife. Not one. So I say that because that's an opportunity to share an experience with patients, and no one did it. No one took the opportunity to say, whew, this is crazy. Or, how are you doing? Or, do you need a hug? Like, whatever. Like, no one even said hi. Right? Like, that's an opportunity that we missed. That all of us missed. Right? So eventually it was just someone pulled something, or I don't know. There's no fire. Everyone went back to the building. And Jamie encountered Lisa. And you know what she said about you? She was so fun. She was so fun. She was friendly. She made me feel better. Like, my wife has had a lot of, as I said, 5 knee surgeries. She's had a lot of pain in her knees. And when she came home, she felt better. Not just because there was any magic voodoo on her knee, but because Lisa and Dr. Kearney made her feel better. Not just a little bit, but a lot. And they did so by treating her like a nice, friendly person, and treated her kindly, and made her laugh, and made her smile. Now, I know we can't make every single patient laugh and smile, but I guarantee you, Lisa can make almost every one of her patients laugh and smile. Not everyone, but probably 90% of them.
I get tired of reading the comment cards. They're all about Lisa and Kearney.
Right? She said she gets tired of reading the comment cards. It's all about Lisa and Kearney, about how wonderful they are. Right? So what Lisa does, what Susan did for me, is made me feel better. Lisa has the ability to look at a person and understand what they're going through, to empathize with them, and then to take that empathy and make them feel better. I can't make your knee feel better right now, but I can make you feel better right now. I get that you had to wait for an hour to come back and see me, but I can make you feel better right now. And I'm going to make you feel better right now. Right? Lisa goes into every patient interaction knowing she's going to make someone feel better, not dreading the person because they're going to be mad. Right? Is that accurate? Pretty accurate. I've been watching you. Right? It's incredible what she does. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I had a really profound experience, and I wanted to tell you my story, and I was thinking about what we do here and how we have about 1,500 patients a week across the whole system. 1,500 patients a week. That's low. 15,000, 2,000, 3,000? 85,000 patients a week. Right? So we have a lot of patients coming through. That's a lot of stories that we're a part of. And if we don't realize that we're a part of the story, we're not able to make it better. Okay? So, what I want you guys to do going forward is I want you guys to think about your stories. When you go to the doctor, I want you to think about your stories if you've ever had to go to the hospital. I want you to think about the things that make you scared, things that make you worried, and think about those people that make you feel better. We are charged with that, making people feel better. Now, I can go on and on and on, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I didn't want to go through another list of things that you can do because I've already done that. I didn't want to go through another list of things you're doing wrong because I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I just think we need to be doing the right stuff more. I think we need to wow people. Okay? Is that fair? All right. That's part 1. All right. So part 2, which is totally different. I don't know. You guys want a stretch break? Anything? No? Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah. All right, everyone stand up for 10 seconds if you want to stand up. Eight, 9, 10. All right, everyone sit down. If you guys want, I can send you my slides too, because they're adorable. All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk next. We're going to go ahead and talk next about the Center of Excellence. Center of Excellence. I know when you make an S sound, people think I'm saying shh. So I just threw that out. All right, who's heard of the Center of Excellence? Okay, good, half. I always say half. So we are embarking on a new venture. A new venture that is going to help standardize training across the system. So the Center of Excellence, you're sitting in it. Okay? Starting on June 1st, this clinic is going to be the clinic that trains everybody in the company. MAs, front office, DME, radiology, contact center, HR, billing, everyone is going to go through training here. Okay? Now, there's a couple things that need to happen first. This place is going to define the standard of operations and service. So we've been working with a team of champions here at the North Phoenix Clinic, which comprises of MAs, front office, DME, radiology, data services, billing. Did I get everybody? No. Who did I miss? Surgery. You guys aren't in the champion team. Get out of here. No, not literally, just figuratively. The champion team, did I get everybody? Yeah? Okay. I'm just going to assume I did. No offense, guys. Thanks for coming. So, what we're doing is we're changing things. We're changing operational procedures, we're changing service standards, and we're going to change the way we're doing all of our training. So you all came through a 2 or 3 day new employee orientation. That's going to change. New employee orientation is going to be based around the clinic. So even HR staff, they're going to know what it's like to be at the front office. They're going to know what it's like to be an MA. They're going to know what it's like to be in the clinic. We're going to have remediation training, where if you're out at your clinic and you need to learn something else or you forgot a procedure, you're going to come here and you're going to learn it here at this clinic. We're going to have all clinic positions trained here. So for hiring managers, you hire a new medical assistant. Their first period of time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, is going to be spent here at this clinic learning the way to do it. And then they're going to be given a book or something, and they're going to go out to their clinic and say, I'm going to continue on. Okay? That way we know everyone is trained up to the standard. New market exchange. So let's say that we've got an orthopedic practice, say in Michigan, right? They've got MAs there. We want to have them trained the way that we do it. Okay? And high potential employees who want to be able to bring people in and say, hey, here's what we want to do. How do we improve this? How do we make it better? How do you do your job better? Okay? And we're starting June 1st. So eventually, we're going to get all clinic staff trained through this Center of Excellence. Eventually, we're going to have all clinic staff trained through the Center of Excellence. Because you notice that there are some MAs who do MAE stuff at one clinic, and then do different MAE stuff at a different clinic. We want it all to be the same. Obviously, there's going to be certain things that are different at clinic to clinic, but this is coming. So, wait, You raising your hand, Alexis?
Yeah, she does have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you gonna have like people that are doing Center of Excellence come up here too?
Am I gonna have them go where?
The people that are doing the Center of Excellence here, are you gonna have some of them come up to this campus?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Maybe.
What was the question?
The question was, we're going to have the people who are doing Center of Excellence here go out to other markets. We don't know yet. Possibly. Probably. So how does this work? How this works is we take all the positions that will need to be trained, and we're going to create another layer. So we have MAs, front office, radiology, DME. We're going to take some of those folks and create another layer of trainer. So we're going to have an MA trainer or MA trainers, front office trainers, right? We're going to bump them up. They're going to be a new position that people have to apply for, a new position that people have to try out for, right? And then their old positions are going to be backfilled. These people will be mostly full-time trainers, and when they're not training, they'll be floats. But as we're bringing on so many people, it's likely they're going to be full-time trainers. This will be an elevation above the current level. So starting in the next couple of months, you're going to see an announcement that says we're starting the hiring and application process for trainers. We're going to be looking for the best of the best at service. We're going to be looking for the best at operations. We're going to look for people who have the ideas, who want to make changes, who embrace changes, embrace ideas. So just know this is coming. Okay? There's going to be opportunity for more growth here. All right, now the pathways to excellence. There's operational and service. So here's some of the things that the North Phoenix champion team has come up with and implemented here at the clinic to improve and to get us to excellence. We've implemented a pager system. They've rearranged the waiting room layout. Like, look at it now. Like, this is a perfect waiting room layout for, that was a joke. They've implemented the registration desk. So you see over there, there's a little desk where people walk in, they sign in there before they call them up to the front. I think that started at Sun City West. Implemented here, it's working really well. Signage, clinic entrance, clinic checkout. Digital wait time boards, the two TVs flanking the front office, they now show the wait time whiteboards. So people can look up there, boom, every couple of seconds it's going to flip, you can see your doctor, bam, you got it. Team weekly checklists. We've also implemented a number of service things, from saying my pleasure as a response to thank you, to having clinic runners, MA scorecards, MA scripting, team building. We've got a lot of different things we're implementing here to develop a center of excellence. Okay? So this is a really big initiative, and it's going to impact all of us eventually. And so what I would like is, if you have ideas, start getting them over to the clinic champions. If you see any of them, any of the North Phoenix staff, get them out to us. Okay? We're making big changes, and we want everyone to be a part of it. Hey, I've got this new way to do this MA procedure thing. I'm not an MA, I apologize. We've got this new idea. Let's see if we can implement that into the training. Because it would be great if everyone was doing this. Okay? So, to take away from this, there will be new MA positions, MA trainers. There will be new front office positions, front office trainers. There will be new radiology positions, radiology trainers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're interested in growing in this organization, this is a great way to do it. Okay? I think we said we're going to start hiring in March? In March. Okay? We're going to build new job descriptions for these positions. We're going to build pathways. The trainers who are hired in are going to help us develop the training process along with the champion teams. Okay? What we want to do is we want to have this clinic be the hot point for great service. We want to have the folks that are here be like Lisa. Everybody. Right? And right now we're not there yet, honestly. We're not there yet. But we're working. I think the question likelihood of recommending the practice went from 80.3 to 87.7 in the last 2 months. Incredible. Team's working pretty hard. Okay? So that's the Center of Excellence. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Physical therapy will be rolled in eventually, but right now we're focusing on the clinic. Okay? So this is a pilot. Fair? Fair? Hold me to it. Hold me to it, definitely maybe.
So will there be like additional training for the people that will be training?
Yes. Yeah. The question was, will there be additional training for the trainers? Absolutely. Yep. So we're going to be starting hiring of trainers in March, and we're not starting training until June. So that period is going to be, here's how you train, here's what you train, help us develop it. Any other questions about that? Is anyone excited about that? Excited about half? This will be the training center. Yep, North Phoenix will be the training center. Where will training happen? Training will happen here, or if it's a classroom style training, we'll do it in Excellence upstairs, the physician workroom, or on the job. Yes. So the question was, the people that we hire, will they work at this front desk? Yes. They'll work here for a period of time that we determine, hasn't been determined yet, maybe a week. So part of that is when we're hiring, we're going to have to plan for that. Yes.
Are all the trainers going to be stationed here, work out of here?
Are all the trainers going to be stationed here, work out of here? Yes.
Okay, I got another question.
Yes.
How about neuro and ortho?
Neuro ortho?
Does this going to be consolidated together, and you're going to have to train both
To be
departments?
determined, just like PT, to be determined.
Okay.
Good question. Great question.
So I assume PT would be notified once they're welcomed into the center
Of
for
course, of course.
training and
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Does that mean the rest of us have to re-go through a training here?
Does that mean the rest of us will have to go through another training here? Eventually, yes. What we want to do is we want to make sure that if someone it comes to the training here and then goes to Peoria and everything is done differently, that's going to be ineffective training. So we want to make sure that the things that are being trained are being executed everywhere. Again, we know that there's certain things that have to be different because of clinic layouts and whatever, but that's what we want to do. So yes. Anyone else? All right. So, things you need to remember from my presentations. Everyone's got a story, right? Everyone's got a story. You've got a story, I've got a story. You're a part of that story. You remember when I started talking, I asked you if you took anything away from my presentations, right? The last couple of presentations I've done, do you take anything away? Do you action on it? Because I realize that I'm a part of your story. If I do an amazing job, you go home and you say, oh my gosh, this guy talked, it was really cool. If I do an okay job or a good job, you don't. And you don't remember what I say. I recognize that I'm part of your story, and I'm hoping that I can wow you with adorable pictures of my kids. Right? I understand that. And I know that part of my role is to be a part of your story. And I think that when you look at your patients, it's the same thing. Part of your role is to be a part of their story. And I know that you have some patients that you never forget, right? Because they also become a part of your story. All right? All right, thank you guys. We've got a 15-minute break, and we're good to go.